Hi, everybody. I have something to ask you guys. What do you think are the 5 key principles of transportation? The 5 key principles of transportation is your identity, your your identity, your location, your time, and your movement. Plus the vehicle you're going to use because you need something to move you. So you have to build that up, okay? So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. You can move any old kind of way, but that's the thing that's going to lead you to get in to protect yourself. You got to have your protection, your armor. That is your armor. Your vehicle is kind of your armor because you're protecting yourself inside. Okay? You need a covering. You need a shield. Okay? That's what vehicles are for. That's why they in the Bible said that you need to know who you are, where you're located, your time, your movement, where you're going to move to, and how you're going to move, and your transportation, your vehicle, your shield. So that's what vehicles are for. And if you have to get anywhere, you have to be able to get far and beyond. I don't mean like you ain't got to go overboard, but people talking about the astro race, talking about finding another planet. You can't do that. You will never be able to find that other planet. I'm going to just be flat out serious right now. But you can definitely protect yourself against the rainstorms and against tornado. Well, I don't know about tornadoes, but stay away from tornadoes. Whenever you see a tornadoes in the view, you just going to have to hunker down and just going to have to hold on because it's ain't nothing you can do about it, and then you gotta rebuild again. Same, or find some other place to live. It's the same thing with hurricanes. It's the same thing, well, with earthquakes, yeah, and snowstorms. But earthquakes and snowstorms, you might have a chance. It might ease up. That just means this ease up. It's a time is it for everything. How to go about that? We just recently had a situation in Milwaukee and southern parts of southeast of Wisconsin. My apology, my 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 heart goes out to them. Yeah, I have pity on them, my sympathy words for them. Those people have a lot to do as it is, and that's just one of the things that people got to be careful on, because you never know what you could do to get yourself done. After the time being, you have a lot to do. People who work in hospitals, they have enough as it is. I've seen hospitals. My aunt used to work in a hospital. I have three people who I know work, specifically 4 people, maybe 5 people. I know a lot of people who work in the hospital. Let's just say that. Okay, we know what hospitals are for. That people go in and out. But the situation with hospitals, people who have to bandage you and get you all fixed up so you can get back out there, that means you got some work to do. But yes, take your time, all means well, to practice resilience and stay out of the hot sun. The UV rays, all of that stuff, that can mess you up, okay? I'm just being frank with you. You don't want to be fried in the brain, wondering where you at, because it's hot out there. If you ain't got no business out there in the midday and after, because in noon, you don't want to do that. Same thing at night. When it's too dark at night, you can't see nothing. Even when it's foggy, you shouldn't be out there. That's just common sense, okay? But if you got to use your flashlight and you hear something and want to see what's going on, you might want to hold out on that too, okay? I'm just saying, because things that are common sense. Let's talk about common sense. Transportation, yeah. Where your house, how to take care of your shelter, yeah. All those things that talking about where you at in your location, your time, you need to understand that that's just common sense. For instance, when I had my situation, when I was trying to to call somebody and I didn't have my phone bill paid. That's another thing. You need to get your phone bill paid, or you need to make sure you have these things, because these things are not always going to be what it is. Okay, you got things what goes up must come down, and before it gets better, it gets worse. So you got to really think about what you gonna do next, okay? Because you got to be prepared, okay? People notice it. Some things you just can't change. Some things is just bound to go downhill. But that don't mean you don't want that. Like the shower. My parents trying to fix the pipes, trying to get the new water heater or whatever, water softener or whatever. They got to pay for that. Even the bathroom downstairs pipes. busted. We don't even got the bathroom sink working. We got waters to supply for our needs, okay? So we got to deal with what we got to deal with. Now, one of the portfolios that I'm going to use right now today is Communication, Education, Transportation Rules and Boundaries globally on the World Wide Web. So this means go, God, the green and yellow, slow down for others and stop for yourself, because you don't want things worse to happen, okay? So we got things to think about. We got our situation, our time, preference, things that we want to love, things are organized, and we gotta keep things organized, okay? Because people ain't trying to be messy like the way it is. People got all type of projects and work to be done. People got work to do, and so give people some understanding. It ain't always what it looks like. It ain't always what it is easy. People got work to do, okay? America especially, because we take in all that animals and trash stuff. Not acting like you don't care. You need to care. People need to care about the people they talk to, how they talk to people. You know, people want love and concern. People want that peace of mind. People want kindness and joy. It ain't so much people can deal with. So have mercy. If God has mercy on people. They're looking for the day they get their mercy and they get to go and get the things they need. It ain't just me that's saying this. It's a whole lot of others that, and I'm not only saying this, a lot of people know this and understand this, but some people aren't willing to pay, to sacrifice, okay? Because it's a lot going into this. People just want to have a good time and party and whatnot, and not everybody's really having a good time and want to party. People want to work and do the things they want to do, but they don't have the the stability. So we have a lot of work to do. I'm stationed here for a reason. It might be some things I still got to work on, I know, but we still got a lot to do. So, like how we got here, it just took a lot. People got plans. You might want to talk about those things. Yesterday we were talking about location, time, your identity, your location, your time, and all those other things that people want to talk about. It ain't just me saying that. It's a whole lot of people. If you got time to listen, time is money. People trying to get their things done. You need to snap out of it, and you might want to keep your career, okay? Because it could help somebody. You never know what might happen. Or your jobs. Like me, I didn't have to do that because I live here. I have a lot to work on, trying to keep things stable and organized. I have to keep things stationed. I'm stationed here. We have a train station, 2 trains that come around here, and there's a lot of commuting and stuff. People pay for the light bills, the electricity, the water. This is not even the house we built, but my parents work here. You might as well have to take care of what you take care of. You work for people. You need to know where you're at. I had to take care of trash. I had to take care of the yard. I've had to take care of cleaning inside and outside. I had to take care of the vehicle, how things are arranged in the garage, how to organize. I had to think about those things. And I have all my portfolios here on one side because I have to manage the things I have to manage. I got my story and I got my things that I have to think about. It's more than just a platform. It's a business. Is you trying to make business transactions with people. You trying to create business, create opportunities. Where you can, where you're able to. I'm just like any other sister, but I know what not to have beef, what not to have do things that are problematic. The people have beef for years. It don't matter. You got to cut your losses and take who can come with you, who have that opportunity. If they can't do it with you, if they're not qualified, then they got to go someplace else. That's just how it is. If you are not qualified, then you need to know what I'm talking about. People got all type of problems. They got to see me with it, but you can't come to my house. You can't come to my room acting all kind of any way. You need to know what organization is so you can have the nice things you need. Heaven is a clean place. Satan is dirty. He a bitch ass. He don't have nothing compared to what we have. Okay, he was coming from heaven, left heaven, and got kicked out all the way back to planet Earth. That's how crazy this is. We're not talking about his case. We talking about you. We talking about people like you and me who ain't got nothing. We don't know that situation. That was ages ago. But you need to know what you doing and what you got going. Because this situation, you got to respect people. Got to know the difference between right and wrong. People trying to make it a God wants to help people. Even he had to get help. But so did all the Bible characters. You got Moses got crazy. You got Ezekiel, who saw the wheel. People are, that's just stuff, okay? Queens and kings. We talking about us. We talking about what the get down is. People done fried. People done know who they is. They take their responsibility. Take the responsibility of who you are, because it ain't just me. It's you that got to deal with this. You see this picture of this child. This little girl is me. That's just pictures. People got kids to take care of. People got, and all these kids here, these kids, they probably grew up, but that don't mean that they didn't know what they was doing. They tried to get what they was at, but they still got things to do. We got a lot of drama, things that we need to know about and understand. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? People got all type of things that they trying to deal with. I'm not the only one that said. My dad, he been busting his ass on the streets for years. You can't tell him anything. He want to buy fish tanks and have fish, okay? That he don't care how his thing look like. People got all type of problems. You got bills to pay. You need to get on your life, because everybody got to know what they doing. It's more than just looking like what you think you know. But people, this is not what you think it is, okay? People want their reward. People fighting for food, shelter, clothing, water, transportation, education, communication, to keep those things. That's the war I'm talking about in each continent. That's what all this war is about, people. That's what all it is about. And people know the communication, education, transportation, to keep those food, shelter, clothing, water, because it affects their music, relationships, and their time. It affects and that is for themselves, their identity, and their animals, okay? Because that's the only thing we understand to understand what this is, okay? It's more than just about your location and you got to have your location and your shield, because that's what's going to protect you. So you can have the reward, which is your location, and your shield, which is what you going to use to carry you and keep you moving, okay? Because that's what's going to keep you locked in. I need you to be on your grind. I need you to bust your tail out there. That's what I'm talking about. That's all I'm saying. And when you understand this, then you can talk to me, okay? Because you got your identity and your time already. But you need to know your location, and you need to know your shield, okay? You need to know who you are, what's your time, your location, and your shield. I already said this in another video, but that's what you need to know. So you can get your shield, because that's what's going to keep you moving, okay? That's why you need to deal with this, okay? That's all this life is. When you have those 4 principles I said in the last video, that's when you know you got your shield, okay? Because you need to work on building up something, your foundation. You need to protect yourself. What would happen if somebody get the slightest idea to invade what they don't need to invade? We not having that. I might be saying this, but I'm telling the truth. But to the extent you might think that you have no one to talk to, I hope this goes to the right person. I hope you take my consideration. I'm warning you. I'm telling it how it is. I'm trying to break bread with you. You need to know what this is. All right. Peace.